Alright everybody, welcome to the live stream. This is the first of many streams I think, so forgive me as I work the bugs out. There might be a couple of issues with the audio and this crappy microphone that I'm using. Trying to get the music levels right, but I think we're good to go, so welcome. I figure seeing as I spend most of my time editing photos in Lightroom, I can stream them out there, and hopefully you guys can jump in and give me any kind of comments you think, help me make some decisions on what to do with these pictures. I'm a beginner to photography and I'm a beginner to Lightroom. I'm just starting to work my way through this, but I love the idea of being able to stream this content out for you guys to see and we can have a little bit of interaction. So give me a minute here to bring up my chat window, just in case somebody drops by and doesn't like the way I'm doing something, they can tell me. Get that set up here. Open broadcaster there so I can keep an eye on it. And I think that we're all set. So, got some photos here, not very many, 42 of them, 38 now. I've cut a few of them out, but the pool in our complex opened for the first day this year on the weekend. So we took the little man out there and snapped a bunch of photographs. Adjust that background music just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to do with my photos is I've already selected a few of them just while I was testing this, but I go through all my photos one by one. I don't use the thumbnails. I use the full screen image so I can see the details a bit better. You can see this one here I've marked as 1 star. Just going to mute the volume there in the background. Mark this one as 1 star. Not that it's a bad photo, but I use 1 star to denote pictures that belong to something else. So if I took a series of photos for a panorama or a series of photos for an HDR, I'll mark them as 1 star so I can easily find them later. 2 stars are pictures I think I want to work on. 3 stars are pictures I know I want to work on. And very rarely will I ever edit anything 4 star. And once everything's said and done, anything 5 stars a portfolio picture, but there won't be too many of these streams where I pull out a 5-star photo, but you never know. So these 2 photos just happened to go together. I held the shutter button down a bit too long, didn't realize I had a continuous shot. But what I got here is something that I think is going to make a really cool animated GIF. His mother threw the beach ball at him, hit him right in the head, and it bounced right off. So this is going to be a fun little animated GIF I'm going to make up. So as we go through, I'm looking to see which are good photos. His eyes are closed in these ones. I marked this one as 2 stars because I like it. Both of these are the same. We'll pick one out later. I just love the look he's got on his face in this photo. We get this look a lot. This is the photo that lets us know that we're in trouble with this little guy. He's got a mind of his own. We're picking up the beach ball. That's his beach ball. He knows it. Love that. It got 3 stars. 2 stars for this one. I kind of wish he was looking at a camera, but he's a 2-year-old. Sometimes they're hard to predict. This one I'm undecided on. He's kind of got his eyes partially closed, but I think it might be an interesting picture. Let's mark it as 2 stars. We'll come back and have a look at it. Obviously, there's nothing here. This one's not quite framed right. You can tell. It's a shame because I think it would have been a good picture. I marked it 2 stars because I might try to do something with it. I don't know what yet, but with a 2-year-old, sometimes it's hard to get them to stand still. That one's blurry. These next 2, he's getting a noodle out of the bucket, are pretty good. He's not in focus in that one, not in focus in that one. There's better pictures of Jennifer not looking at the camera. Looking at the camera, but there was such harsh lighting, I can't really tell if his eyes are in. They look a little bit out of focus. Let's come and look at that one and that one maybe later. I think that might be my favorite photo of the day. See what we can do with that one. We'll follow the beach ball. A couple better pictures of Jennifer. We'll go with that one. She's not squinting as much in that one. It was very harsh light out there that day. More pictures of William with the pool noodle. Again, missed the focus. Can't see his face in either one of those, but it's kind of fun. Alright, we'll go with those. Let's go back to the library view. So we've got them all, the ones that we're going to use. The thumbnail's a bit bigger. Add our filter in so we can see things that we've rated. I want them equal to because I want to look at specifically things that are 2-star. So here's the photos we picked that we're going to edit through today. And start with the first one. I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to crop this one down a little bit. Using a 50mm prime lens on the camera. So not a lot of room to zoom, and I can only get so close with water being between us. I think if we crop this down a bit, I think we're going to have a nice photo that we can use. Tighten up a bit. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe even crop it a bit tighter. I just want to kind of get some of the pool in the background. Kind of set the scene a little bit. Let's try it a little bit tighter. Definitely want to get both his hands in this shot. Yeah, there, I think I like that one. I tend to hit auto tone right at the beginning, let the computer make a couple of the decisions for me, and then go back in and make a few adjustments myself. I like to add some contrast to my photos. I'm a fan of contrasty photos. It doesn't always work. But I tend to add in a little bit of extra, pull the highlights down a bit, make the blacks a bit deeper. I like contrasty photos. For the portrait photos, sometimes I'll tend to pull the clarity down a little bit. Not too much. You don't want it to look like this, where it's just completely washed out. Very cartoony, but just a little bit, smooth out some of the blemishes in the skin. Vibrance, kick it up a little bit. Unless I'm going with black and white, actually doesn't look too bad, but I'll leave the saturation as it is, because I prefer to change the saturation here in the HSL panel with the individual colors. I don't really think I want to change anything. I kind of like the way that picture looks. Yeah, I kind of like it just the way it is. I'll just play around. One thing I should have applied was a bit of lens correction. I've probably cropped it enough, it doesn't make too much of a difference. But I think we're good for this picture. Didn't make a lot of changes. That's what we started with before. Brighten it up a little bit, a little more color, a little bit more contrast, but I think we're good with that one. Yeah, I think those pictures are pretty much identical. So we're just going to skip over that one for now. Here's the one with him playing with the beach ball. Let's crop that down to start with. Original aspect ratio. I think that photo is going to work much better. In portrait orientation. Done. I like it. Stop on the lens correction. And then auto tone. Lower the exposure a bit. His face is in shadow because of the hat. Contrast is pretty good. Love the bright colors here. I should bump the highlights up. That's not something I usually do. Put the clarity down a little bit. How about the vibrance, really bring out the bright colors of the beach ball? I wonder. I can't use an exposure brush. That might be a bit too much. We might be able to bring up the light on his face just a little bit. Brush a bit smaller. I don't want to overdo it, but I do want to see his face a little bit there. That'll do. Bring down the feathering on the brush. That's too low. Back some of these off a little bit. I warned you guys I was a beginner at this, so I'm just kind of making this up as I go along and learning my way through it. But I think that's better. And after the launch, just brighten it up. I'm really kind of happy with the way that picture turned out. So let's move on to the next one. Again, I think we're going to crop this one the same way. His expression certainly isn't the best, but it's what we have to work with. Kids are challenging. A little more contrast. The blacks. I don't think I'm going to do anything with his face on this one. I kind of like it the way it is. Bit of lens correction. Might seem a little gray. Bring the clarity down a little bit, smooth his face. A little more vibrance. don't know what to do with this one. I kind of want to save it. Just framed so poorly, so I'm going to skip over that one for now. I'm going to do one of these, the one where he's getting the noodle out, or the one where he's got the pool noodle in his hand. I think I'm going to go with this one. I gotta be honest, years of creating photos for web content has made me way too biased towards landscape orientation. Really gotta remember that the camera can shoot in portrait mode just as well. It really would work better for something like this. I kind of want to get the end of the pyramid in, but I want to make the focus. Let's try that. For sure, I can crop out to get the portrait that I want, but look at the megapixels I'm losing. You know, had I just turned the camera properly, I would have got a much better shot. But like I said, I'm as much a beginner at photography as I am at Lightroom. But we've all got to start somewhere. This is where I'm starting. The contrast a bit. Bring it down a little bit. A little bit more blacks. More shadow. It's too low. I like the color saturation of these. I haven't really touched that at all in any of these photos, but nice and bright. Alright, we've got two more photos here that are similar. There's just a little difference in his expression. He's looking at the camera. I'm gonna go with this one actually. I like it a little bit better. Now, this one I do like in landscape mode. I like it better in portrait mode. Decisions. Yeah, I like it better in portrait. It does look a little blurry. I don't think the focus was quite right on this shot. But that's what we had to work with. Maybe try sharpening it up a little bit. Just our tones a little bit. Contrast. And it really is kind of fuzzy. It's really not going to work out at all. The focus in this one is any better. It looks really soft too. Not sure what happened with the focus point on those. But this one looks nice and sharp. And I remembered to shoot it in portrait orientation, which is going to make the editing process a little nicer. Kind of want to get his whole body in there, get his little feet down in the water. Let's try that. Lens correction. I'm not going to sharpen this one. And very little changes in the auto tone. Up the contrast the other way, bring the clarity down a little bit. More vibrance to the colors. His face is dark, but I don't want to brighten it up. Just illustrate the bright sunlight. I think I messed up the crop. That's not a 4x3 crop. There. I like it. One little picture here of the beach ball. Let's bring that up a little bit. That's not what I want to do. Stop. This direction. Tighten it up a little bit. Just a bit of center. Plenty of water. A few little changes, nothing too serious, but I like it. A lovely picture here of Jennifer. Tighten this up a little bit. Just a touch of clarity, a little bit of vibrance. It's a great photo. I don't want to do a whole lot with it. If I need to crop it a bit tighter, maybe. Just ready to feedback from you guys. Do I leave it like that, or do I crop it in even more? Really focus on her face. I think I actually like that better, so we're going to go with that. And then, what do we have left? Got these two pictures here. It's kind of a fun little abstract one. You can't really see his eyes, but you know he's having fun. I don't really want to do a lot with it. I kind of like that's too much exposure. Lightroom's trying to tell me I like my photos to have too much contrast in them, but you know what? It's the way it is. That's how I like them. Bright, colorful, contrasty pictures. Might not work for everybody, but that's the beauty of photography. You make the picture that you want, picture that you're happy with. I like my pictures to have some contrast. Some of you might not. Some of you might want your pictures to have less contrast. But for me, it's all about the contrast. Over here, I'll take a second. Let's crop this one into portrait. Bit more space in front of him. That's better. That's better. Put that down just a bit. Just get the top of this little head of the picture. Perfect. Getting too much exposure. I'm going to stop hitting that auto button. I don't even have to change it anyway. I want a little bit less exposure, but more contrast. Obviously not what Lightroom wants me to do with the picture, but luckily it's my picture and not Lightroom's, so I get to do what I want with it. I think that's good. 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 This a minute I'm not using, so I'm just going to go in, put the rating back to 0, so I can use that one. We didn't use this one. Rating back to 0. We just have left the ones that we've used. And we didn't use this one. Come on, computer, keep up. Set the rating on this one back to 0. And we didn't use this one. And this one I don't know what to do with. It's just so badly framed. Might have even been an accident, but I wonder if we can kind of disguise the fact that it's badly framed. Cropping in nice and tight on his face on the part that we do have. Maybe. That might actually work. Guess we save something out of it. I don't think I really want to adjust. Kind of like that, actually. Put him back in the scene a bit. More black space in front of him. Kind of like that. I think that actually we might save something. Crop in closer than his ear. I don't know. I guess you can play with that crop all day. Maybe you still not get something you like, but what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 photos out of the 38 that we had. 10 that we've edited and we're going to like. And I think I screwed up and changed the rating on the wrong photo. Because thought we had it. Oh, never mind. That's the right one. Come on. 10 photos. And I think they look pretty good. It's still a bit blurry, but there's not much we can do about it. But not bad, not bad. This has gotten a little bit sluggish. There's the photos we have, so we're going to grab those because I'm happy with them. And I'm going to put them in my family Flickr. There's some photos that shouldn't be in here. Like those two. Remove. Perfect. There we go. And then we'll just go right click and we're going to publish. And put them right up on. Good. So, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream of me hacking my way through this photo editing. I promise I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to get better at taking pictures. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Be sure to connect with me on social media. Offer me your feedback. I appreciate all forms of criticism and tips to help me get better at what I'm doing. And thanks everybody for tuning in and watching. We'll be back in a couple of days. I'm still sorting out a streaming schedule. I don't know quite what it's going to look like yet. But I'll get something published to my social media profile soon, and hopefully we can spend some more time together learning how to edit photos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.